So, what is a more common, which issue is more common in couples, sex or money?
Ooh. Hmm.
Hi, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Juice and Jury podcast. I'm here with my girls, Maureen and Shanika, and we have an amazing guest here with us today. I am thrilled and honored to have Debbie Opoku Mulder with us today. A little bit about Debbie, because there's a lot about Debbie, but I'll just give you a little bit. Um, so Debbie is actually an award-winning psychotherapist, a workshop facilitator, a consultant, an international speaker with over 15 years of experience. She has a master's in psychology, and she was actually recognized as one of Canada's top 100 Black women to watch in 2022. So that is amazing. You might actually recognize her from her appearances on you've been everywhere, girl. We're CP24, City TV News. Yes, sis. Breakfast Television. All of it. She's there. And so, yeah, we're really happy. She's a mother of four. And I think, one of her most greatest accomplishments is that she's my sister, right?
Yeah. I was waiting to set up. Like, are you going to tell people she's your sister?
Yeah, she's my sister. So here we go. Thank you, Debbie, for joining us. And yeah, we want to get right into it. I'm happy you're here. I think in the winter we all need a little bit of therapy, please.
Yeah. Listen, I would like you to read that at Christmas family dinner because
everybody knows
that so eloquently.
I feel like we should all be writing blurbs like that about ourselves and our
Yes.
so to be read when we feel not so great about ourselves,
And then pick it up.
Like, can you read this for me? Like,
jump on Zoom and read it out. Yes. Yeah. No, I'm telling you, this time of year is really trying, and I feel like it gets worse and worse every year. And there were times where I thought, okay, after Halloween to Christmas, it's exciting time because it's leading up to the holidays and everybody's excited. But feeling this year, it's wow, time changed last weekend, and you are just, I don't have any more to give. And it's just starting. It's just starting. We even hit winter. So
I know.
Why do you think that is? Like, I was thinking, is it because we're still getting off of that pandemic low? I wanted to say high, but it's the low is the pandemic. Is it like the housing market, like the groceries? Like, what is it that's putting us down in the dumps? Like, what is it?
Well, it's all of that, right? And I think we like to say that we're out of the pandemic, but then you get these media alerts that say, oh, COVID is on the rise again. And I know we're not going to go into lockdown. Please, Laura, not going back into lockdown. But you still have those fears, right? Flu season, RSV, COVID, grocery bills are high. Like, people are losing housing. We are in the media, the mix of the media, social media. We get all of our things from there. And so we can sit on there for hours scrolling and just get depressed. Like, it's just around us. The sun goes down, and we're just trying to survive, all of us. So I want to just even put that out there today, that we're all feeling the same way. Yeah. And you can't sit at home and think that you're just feeling this way. We are all feeling the same way. So this is it. There's so much going on. War. There's things going on in this world.
It's really sad.
Heavy time.
I feel like all of the things that you named off, Debbie, is like it weighs so heavily. Like, if you just take one, like each one of them by themselves might not seem like such a big deal, but when you put everything together, and then the fact that, like you said, we're scrolling through social media and it's inevitable that you're going to run into all of these dark things that are happening in the economy, in the world. And then as parents too, on top of that, my kids who are completely oblivious to everything else that's going on, like you want to be present for them and you don't want all of that to affect them, but inevitably it affects me, which will affect in turn how much energy I have to give. And I was feeling like, if I'm going to be honest, today I had like a mini meltdown over the stupidest thing, but it just felt, I think because of everything, I get like anxious a little bit easier this time of year. So like I had the kids like school parent teacher meeting this evening. And I put it in my calendar. I put it in my phone. Like I was not going to miss it. I knew when it was coming. I had the alerts and I still missed the first one because I was sitting with my daughter doing reading, or I don't remember what I was. And then I looked at my phone and the alarm didn't go off at the right time. Like it went off like an hour before, but it didn't go off at the time that it was supposed to happen. So I still ended up missing one. I went to my son's, like I literally jetted in and went to my son's meeting with the teachers, virtual, thank God. But then after that, I felt so bad. Like I felt so crappy about myself that happened. Like, and I don't know about everybody else, but I'm always feeling like as a parent that I'm always just trying to catch up and just trying to hold on by the skin of my teeth. With everything that's going on, with the homework, with like all the things that are required, all the activities that are going on. I get super overwhelmed.
And you're not alone in all of that, Maureen. Like honestly, I drop the ball all the time. And my kids will say sometimes, you didn't put my library book in my backpack. You never do that, Mom. What happened? Right? Like in just certain things, or you gave me the wrong lunch bag. Like what happened? And you're just devastated that I've let my kids down. But honestly, what do they remember? What do your kids remember about you? That you were there, that you were sitting there reading with your daughter? I think she'll remember that more than you forgot the parent-teacher interview. Quite honestly, right? In the moment, absolutely, you're feeling, oh, what have I done? But when you think about what do they see? What do they know? What do they remember?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that is what's important.
Yeah.
And you can't do it all. My gosh. Us as moms, as women, we think we can do it all. We think we have to do it all. And then when something bad happens, that's what we remember. We don't even think about all the great stuff that we did. Like thinking about what you did today, Maureen, like your kids are still alive. Like I did.
So far. Yeah.
Alive. That is more than enough to say, okay, you know what? Yeah, that was something I'm not really proud of that I did. But look at all the other things that I did today.
Yeah.
What are my kids remembering about me today? Going to sleep when Mommy was there. I know.
That's true.
Yeah. But it's definitely tough when you're in that moment, right? So
sure.
Yeah.
And then with social media, it's also very like, there's the triggering stuff, but there's also stuff where you kind of feel inadequate. Like when you're watching other moms that everything looks so perfect and well done. Like, and I always look, I'm like, why is that person's kitchen so clean? Why? You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, how is that happening? Like, how do you have time like to do certain things? And I'm like, I'm running here, running there, and I'm like, and I try my best. I'm always trying to, keep up. And I'm like, when I see people post on social media, it's like, I'm doing something wrong, right? Right? Don't you? I mean, do you know what I'm talking about? Do you not feel that way?
Yes. Yeah. All the time. All the time. This morning I was looking at my house. I was like, there's not one room in this house that is clean. Like not one. I was like, where do I film? I have to like clear out some whatever is behind me and film. And it's just like, it gets overwhelming. And I clean like every morning I do clean, but by the evening it's just chaos again. And it's like this never ending cycle of I have like tons of laundry that needs to be folded. I have papers from homework and lunch boxes, and I'm just looking around right now, socks and like paper everywhere. Just like, and it's overwhelming. It's like, I have to choose. Am I going to spend all my time cleaning up, or am I going to spend my time doing, whatever, this productive thing or that productive thing? Or am I going to choose? Like, I have to choose because I can't do I always tell my husband, like, I need 5 of me. One of me is not enough. So that's how I feel. I feel the same way, Tiana.
Cleaning though, like for me, for cleaning, if I can't clean the whole house, nothing gets cleaned.
What do you mean?
Like if I'm gonna clean, I'm gonna clean, right? Like I'm gonna spend the whole day cleaning, but I don't do it. So then like nothing gets cleaned.
Yeah. They
And I
always
saw
say,
your thing the other day too, Maureen, like, do one room at a time. I don't know. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I feel like it's all or nothing. It all has to be clean. Or
I do one room because first of all, this house is too much space. Like I can't, there's just too much. I can't do it. So my husband and I've gotten better at this because I used to get really stressed out about it. But my husband is like, okay, why don't we, instead of you just getting mad at everybody and just like being aggressive toward everyone, not aggressive physically, but like just being mad and resentful towards everyone. He's like, why don't you just say, hey, this weekend on Sunday, we're cleaning. And that's what I started doing. I'm like, okay, this weekend, I put it in the schedule. We're not doing anything else between the hours of like noon to 5. We're cleaning this house. And everyone is taking a room. The kids take their room. Duma will take whatever upstairs, and I'll take downstairs, and we do it. And that's the only way I can do it because I can't maneuver this entire house by myself. So I literally just let it get messy the week, like minimum cleaning. And then I do the full cleaning on the weekend.
Do you feel accomplished at the end of the weekend? Do you feel that it's clean? Do you like the way it looks? Do you feel satisfied?
Yes.
When you're doing it right. There you go.
Yes, I mean, it's not perfect, but like presentable. I'll put it that way.
There you go.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you found how to do it. You found a way to make it work for you. And you're not doing it by yourself.
No. I don't feel like I can. I feel like I would burn out. Like it'd be too much house for one person to do properly, like properly clean. Yeah.
But there's something to be said about the fact that you actually recognize that you recognize that I can't do that. I can't do this, right? There are people that haven't recognized that yet, and then they get burnt out.
Yeah.
So to be able to sit there and say, I can't do this alone. I need help. You don't even know how big of an accomplishment that is. Right?
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it feels like a weakness to ask for help. Sometimes it feels like, oh, I'm asking for help because I suck at this. I can't do it. So sometimes that's how I feel. But I appreciate you saying that it's actually a good thing to be able to ask for help.
I think we've just kind of been ingrained to just keep going and doing this, being women of color, being women in general, right? You just do it. And you can't show that sign of weakness by saying, I can't do it. And that's just what's been ingrained in us. And we burn out or we eat worse. What's worse than burnout is not a pretty picture because we just keep going. Because that's what's been told that we had to do. And you can sit back and say, no, I don't have to do all this on my own. Everybody else is struggling. I need to share that I'm struggling and I need help. And that is okay.
I think it's hard to share sometimes too, because you got to find the right person to share with and someone you feel is not judgmental and that can actually support you, so I think sharing. And
I think figuring out who that is, right? You might share and figure out that person is not supporting you. I will not mention a family member, but you say something and I'm not going to mention family members.
This is for when we're not recording. Yes, go ahead.
But people, there's certain stigma around asking for help. There's certain stigma about anxiety and depression and mental health. And to talk about it, it's no, don't say anything. Don't talk about it because this can go down in your record or you're going to get fired or, something. No, we don't talk about it. Just drink some tea, take some Tylenol. You'll be okay. Go sleep.
And hold it in and keep it in and don't
keep it in and just keep going.
What happens when you keep it in, right?
Exactly. So this is, a lot of the work that I do is about talking to my community about, hey, we need to talk about this. We need to actually sit down and call it and name it what it is.
Yeah.
Right? That's the only way we're going to deal with it. And it's okay to not be okay. What they'll say.
I find that you look around, I feel, and I feel like there's a lot of people struggling these days. Like not just like not even with the winter blues, but just like you see a lot of anxiety and depression. You can see it; it's right there, and it's a lot of people. You know what I mean? It's like there's very few people that you see now that I'm like, oh, that person's got it together. I think everyone's got something going on. And I don't know if does that sound like a lie or like I just feel like ever since, it's just been a lot.
It has been a lot, and I think more people are naming it now. I always say, you know, growing up, I don't think I think we talked about anxiety and depression, but like it wasn't something that was really just out there and everybody was free to share and say that you have it. Now it's like, oh, you got anxiety? I do too. Let's be friends. Like it's just everybody's calling it out. Everybody has it. And I think it's becoming less and less of a stigma and more and more of a, all right, it's okay. Let's talk about it. Let's work it out. So
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I think also like around the holidays, like I used to think that, oh, people are more like kind around, like that's what movies make you think, you know, when you watch those like Christmas movies, like, but it's Christmas, and then people are just extra nice, right? But actually when you go out into the world, like I will never forget one time where I was at the gas station. I don't know why this particular event stuck out in my memory, but I was at the gas station and it was just around Christmas time, like maybe a week or two away from Christmas, and there were people yelling and fighting and they were so angry, and it just like everyone felt super on edge. And I think like we all watch these movies, and I definitely internalized this idea that like, oh, everyone is just a little bit kinder around Christmas or sweeter or more patient, but it's actually the opposite. Everyone's so stressed out because of like, I don't know, financial expectations, burdens, family stuff that they have to deal with. I don't know, like, and also the weather maybe and darkness, maybe all of that. But it just stuck out to me, the contrast of like what we portray in like movies and what the reality actually is. And a lot of people are even depressed around the holidays, like if you've lost people or if you're just dealing with like, you know, whatever, if you're an immigrant and you don't have family here, that can be actually a really hard time for a lot of people.
I saw a Facebook post of, you know, just somebody saying, you know, I'm going to be alone over Christmas. I want to get together with other people that are going to be alone. And the comments of everybody that was going to be alone and wanted to join in, I thought,
wow,
all y'all going to be alone? Wow. Right? They're like, oh, this is a great idea. I'm going to be by myself for Christmas. Can I come? Can I come? And I'm like,
wow.
People,
that's a need that's a unique like post, and I feel like, wow, somebody should do like create something, an app for people who are alone on Christmas or something. I don't know, but like that's clearly a need that's happening in society.
Wow, that is really sad.
I know. I mean, to your point about people being angry, I know I'm sitting here thinking about my kids want a PlayStation 5 for Christmas. And I'm like, I'm not paying full price for a PlayStation 5. So I'm waiting for Black Friday and I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to fight. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh my goodness, it's a month till Christmas and I'm already talking about fighting.
Do you remember? Do you remember when the Tickle Me Elmos came out in like the early 2000s?
Yes.
It was like on the news, the way people were fighting in the stores.
For that.
I don't remember that.
I remember that. I remember that too.
People were like fighting for Tickle Me Elmo, like fist fighting each other. The craziest thing. People lose their minds.
No way, Black Friday, people really fight each other. The way that they like, it's like a stampede coming in. That's crazy.
Yeah, they just waiting for those TVs and those electronics. I just want the PS5. Let me get it. But see, the rage that builds up, right, and the anticipation, and it's wild out there. It is wild. So you're not kidding. People are angry.
For sure.
People are angry.
You would think, like, you know, the holidays coming up, like, people would be happy. But here they are just ready to throw down, you know, like Debbie.
I'm ready. Because listen, all these things that are happening in the background with financial, housing, groceries, just keeping safe, keeping not sick, the weather changing, all of that stuff combined And now I want a TV. Like, doesn't make any sense, but that's right. All of these things are happening while you are standing in line waiting for this. And so if anybody gets in the way, if anybody butts in line, if anybody gets in the way of you getting what you want, I'm wilding out.
Yeah, the floodgates are opening. And
Right.
Yeah.
And people like, it's just a TV. No, but I need to go because the bananas are on sale and all of that stuff. Like, there's just so many things that are piled on top of it, and you're just struggling.
Yeah, it's a lot of overwhelm.
Yeah. And just being able to cope and figuring out, how do I cope with all of this? Coping skills is a luxury.
What are some good coping mechanisms? Like what are some good ways to cope?
You know what? First of all, I'm going to really encourage people to recognize and notice when things are declining. Okay. And I think that's hard because sometimes we don't know until it's happening. Right. So Maureen, for you to be able to step back and be like, whoa, right? I need help here. Start to notice when things decline. Start to notice your moods. Start to notice when you're not sleeping well, right? You're not being able to sleep. You're not even eating well. Your anger. Listen, for me, it's bedtime, and between 7:30 and 8:30 in the morning when I'm trying to get these kids off to school, I'm at a different level. And then I'm fine, right? Okay, because goodbye, have a great day. And they're like, what's wrong with this thing, right? Like, it's
I'm that person.
Me too.
Before I walk into work, I kiss them.
Oh
yeah. I don't want you to have a bad day at school.
5 minutes ago.
Yeah, right. But
exactly,
right? Like when these things are happening, and really take a step back and think, okay, I gotta check myself here. I check myself on a regular daily time where I can say, okay, from 1 to 10, 1 being, all right, this is cool. And if I'm at a 10, then get me some help now. And I got to stand back and be like, all right, where am I today? I'm at a 5. Okay, it's not too bad. I'm not going to hurt anybody. But, just really being able to check yourself and doing those self-checks. Because if you're not checking yourself, somebody else is going to check you, and it's going to be too late before you do. Let's be honest.
This is true.
Yourself. Start noticing when things are declining.
So, in other words, you're saying check yourself before you wreck yourself?
Absolutely. Let's go back to the 90s and start.
No, it's true. Wow.
Right? Like, do the self-evaluation, right? And think, okay, where am I at today? How am I feeling today? Who have I yelled at today for no? When? Why did I? And then it's about, well, what do I need to do for me? Like, sitting in your car when you get home and just sitting there, it's a different level of peace. And if that's what you need, then sit there, right?
Sorry, Debbie, do you not remember Daddy used to do that?
Oh, yeah.
And we never understood why Daddy was sitting in the car before Debbie inside. And now I know. I do it all the time. I'm like, well, give me a second. I'm like, wait, I've been out here for about half an hour. I probably should go in. But now I get it. My dad used to take a long time to come inside. I'm like, he's just in the car. He'd be complaining.
I sense he might be doing something else, but whatever.
No,
he was doing his own self-care.
He was sleeping.
Yeah.
He was sleeping. He was literally sleeping. A lot of times we're just like, I'm like, what?
He's like, these kids are too much. I need a nap.
He would be out.
Yeah, but back then, I never understood. I'm like, what's wrong, Daddy?
No.
But now I do all the time. I'm like,
Now I pull in and I just sit there and I'm like, oh, this is.
No, okay, let me tell you what, like, this is me and my husband. This is like, I think all parents know this trick. Okay, Sean, this is what you're gonna, I don't have to tell you this one day. When you become a parent, you will automatically start doing this. Okay.
What is it?
You take your phone, go to the washroom, and just sit on the toilet and watch your phone for like the next 15 minutes. You could be doing nothing, but you're like, I'm in the washroom. Leave me alone.
Come in the bathroom.
Yeah.
The way that works is if I sneak upstairs and just stay there.
Lock the door.
No, my kids open the lock easy, like it's nothing. Mateo knows how to do it like quick. It's as if he's just walking right in. So I don't even bother anymore.
Don't teach my kids that because they haven't figured it out yet. They figure it out sometimes, like with a knife, you can do it, but the little one hasn't figured it out yet. So she just sits there and she puts her fingers under the door and
I just yell at mine.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, don't come in here. I'm taking a poop. Leave me alone.
I run the water.
Yeah.
And I'm not even in the tub. I just run the water. So it's your own self-care, right? Like that's just
literally self-care.
It
But
is.
my husband does it for sure all the time.
My
Yeah.
husband too.
When I'm getting the kids ready, for some reason he's nowhere to find. I'm in the hiding.
Yep.
Do you all kind of consider different forms of like meditation, exercise? Is that a thing?
Well,
Yeah.
We got Miss Yoga over there.
Okay.
She's the best person to ask. Yeah, she's she's look at how relaxed she is.
Right.
Yeah, she's like, I'm dead.
She's the most mellow.
She's like
most mellow human being on this planet right now.
That is awesome. I aspire to.
But I also remember, I also don't have kids.
But you teach.
Yeah, that's true.
You're still with them all day. So
That is true.
You're still really mellow.
What grade do you teach?
Right now I'm doing art and French.
Oh.
So I was in the classroom for like eight years.
You speak French?
Wow.
You speak French?
And then so now I'm out of the classroom. It has its different challenges because you don't have your own set of kids. You're going from room to room like a rotary type teacher. But yeah, I'm enjoying it.
That's awesome. Oh, so you go to the kids, right? Because I've always heard about the kids coming to teach, but you go to them. And
I go to them. I go to their classroom. Yeah.
Amazing. That is amazing. I think that like even just figuring out that schedule is like self-care piece because, I have a friend that the kids, come to her and it's a lot. Mm-hmm. But when she had a chance to be able to go to them to each class, she found that you just go in, do your thing, and you can leave that class, whatever is going on there, and go to the next thing, right? Like that was her figuring out this is what I need. So yeah, good for you. Do you with the meditation piece, do you do it on your own? Like I know that you probably like do you do yoga on your own or do you teach a yoga class?
So I teach yoga. I mean, I do have my own practice, but yeah, teaching is my jam.
How did you get into that? Like, how do you?
Like, what is this?
What?
How did you get into that?
You're queen yoga. You're queen yoga.
That's amazing.
Thanks.
Yeah.
How did you get into that? She said.
Oh, how did I get into it? To be honest, I was teaching abroad. Maureen, remember when I went to St. Martin? Anyhow, I was teaching abroad a long, long time ago, and then I had come back, and I was just kind of like I was living in the sun for like a year and a half, and then I came back, and I was just kind of like, okay, I have a job now. What? Like, what else? What else is there left to do? I'm like, there has to be something else than just going to work and coming home. So then I was like, okay, I need to do something. So I joined the gym. I started to do yoga, and then I just fell in love with yoga.
Oh, that's amazing. That's
like,
amazing.
I used to dance as a child, and so yoga just kind of seemed like a natural next step type thing.
I tell you, we had a yoga instructor come to work like at lunchtime on Wednesdays, and we ran to the gym to start to do our yoga for an hour because we were like, I worked in children's mental health, so we were. Yeah, we are our own beast there.
That's taxing.
Yeah. So the Wednesdays when Dawn would come and do the yoga with us, and we would just be able to just sit and meditate.
Yeah. Like I would love to offer yoga for teachers or yoga for like corporate type thing, but I would still like to be paid as a teacher. I don't think people take it seriously enough to pay yoga teachers what they deserve.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's not I feel like people don't take it seriously, but it's such a serious thing, especially now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just want to mention that I actually started going to a yoga studio and doing hot yoga, and it has been amazing. Like honestly amazing. And I'm shocked for the last 2 weeks. I've been going pretty much like every day. Can you imagine? Like, so I'm telling you, I think that it really is good.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
This proof that you can find time to do yoga every day.
Yeah, I mean the place is really close by, but and for an hour you just pop over there and you do it. And it's like you literally become like really in tune with yourself. So I think it's actually great self-care.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I love about yoga, that it's so underrated. It gives you body awareness. Like when you have body awareness, like, do you know how many doors open up for you? Like you might think like you're tired, but no, it might be something else. Or you might think it's this, it might be you're just, and you can go to, for instance, if you go to the doctor, you can better tell the doctor what it is that's actually like what the problem is, and not let the doctor tell you. Like you have full onus.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so important though. I feel like people need to hear this right now, right? Because we're all sitting there like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm not doing well. You go to the doctor and doctor's like, I don't know, fibromyalgia. Like, and then nobody really knows, right? So if you can go and figure that out, like yoga, meditation, that exercise.
Yeah.
I mean, I always point clients to that as a coping strategy. Like, go and do it. You got all the time to scroll social media.
Yeah.
Go, take that 20, 30 minutes that you do that and do some sort of physical exercise.
Something physical. Yeah, I think that's so true. I think physical activity and getting in your body and out of your head.
Right.
Well,
exactly. Sorry.
No, I was going to ask, like, what do you recommend for people that are burning out at work? Like, feel overworked, not happy with work.
Yeah.
Conflict with their colleagues. Like, what do you how do you act? Like, what do you tell them to do to approach or to deal with that?
I tell this story, and I could only tell this after I was out of the situation. But when I moved up here to Simcoe County, I wanted to work where I lived. Like I was traveling to Toronto for work, and I'm like, no, I'm going to get a job here. So I got a job in a mental health agency, and I was a supervisor there. And I remember supervising people who were seeing children, working with children with trauma. So they would come in and say, okay, Deb, I have this case. And they would talk about their cases, right? And these children had gone through some trauma, and I'm the one supporting their therapist to help support them. And I did it for 2 years. And I just remember one day just stopping and sitting at my desk and thinking, I can't do this anymore. This is way too much. And I use the analogy, like, where's my mug? I have this mug here, right? And so think about, you go into your cupboard and you want some tea or you want some coffee, right? So you have this whole cupboard full of mugs, and you choose a mug, right? And you start pouring in your coffee or tea or wine, whatever you're drinking, whatever. And you keep pouring and pouring, and you look at the capacity of this mug, but you keep pouring and pouring and pouring till it starts overflowing, right? And what happens when it's overflowing? Your hand, the hand that's holding your mug, starts to burn, right? This is what burnout is. Your capacity, and knowing what your capacity is and going over your capacity leads to burnout. And for me, working in that agency, hearing those stories, doing the work, assessing the work, all of that, I had reached capacity. And I sat there and I thought, I can't do this anymore. And I literally got up, went to my boss and said, I quit.
Wow.
I literally that day. And I just said, I quit. And, she tried to talk me out of it. I'm like, I have reached my max. And I didn't realize that I didn't realize that I wasn't sleeping. I didn't realize that I wasn't eating right. I didn't realize that I was yelling at my kids, and that, like, I didn't realize all of that till I reached capacity and sat back, and I was burning my hand, and I thought, I can't do this anymore. And I literally quit my job and thought, how did this happen? How did I get to this place? And if it comes to work, and I think this is a huge part, because we all need to work. I get that. We need some sort of survival. But if it is becoming a place of contention, if it's becoming a place where on Sundays, Sunday night around 5 o'clock, you get those Sunday scaries, I like to call them, where your heart starts beating, you get anxious, you're just, like, recognize what that is. Recognize that you might be reaching capacity, and what do you need to do in order not to just, not to get up and quit like I did. Like, I mean, sure, if you want to, but sure, you have somewhere else to go to. But recognize that this is a real thing, and that somewhere, somehow, something is not getting fulfilled. You're saying yes to all the things, you're saying no to something, and what is suffering in your life, and is it worth it? Does it mean I need to take some time off? Does it mean that I need to delegate more work? Does it mean I need to reevaluate my job and what I'm doing, right? Jenny, you talked about changing it up, and now you go to the kids, and that is what works for you, right? Thinking about in your work, what do I need to do to make this a place where I can go to, where I don't have Sunday scaries, where I don't feel at capacity, where I'm not burning out. And I'll say this to everybody, it is okay to say, I can't do that. I'm at capacity. I said that, 5 minutes before I came down here to my kids. I am at capacity. They hear it all the time.
They're like, say too often. You probably say too often.
Oh, I say it often. They're like, we don't even know what that means, Mom. I'm like, okay.
No, but I say that to mine too. I tell them, okay, my threshold for patience is done for today.
Yes,
I don't have any more patience for today. So anything else you throw at me is going to be received really badly.
Don't tell me I didn't warn you.
Yeah, like I'm telling you now, if you continue, I'm not going to be as patient as I was in the morning. Right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. I never reason with my kids. I'm going to try to talk to them. I've never said that before. I just yell.
They understand more than we know. They get it. They get it. But I think we need to start naming it and start calling it out and saying, okay, I don't have any more in me right now.
Yeah.
And for me to remain at this level, I need to not be filling up my mug to full capacity that it's overflowing. Yeah. Know what your capacity is, and don't reach it, because when you get there, it's not a happy place. It's not a happy place. Right?
And that applies to like not just even like your kids or your job, even your spouse, I think, is the same, right? You got to be able to communicate before it gets to the breaking point.
Absolutely.
And you also do like marriage counseling too, right?
Couples counseling as well. Yeah, that's a fun ride, I'm telling you.
It's like, how do you, because you actually you're the mediator. Like, you ever get in a situation where the couples are like fighting, you're like, listen, y'all just need to get divorced.
You know what? To not be together, get away from each other.
At the end of a session where I feel like the couple is okay, that they can make it through, I'll say to them, I have hope for you all, and then you may not have hope right now, but I have hope, so let's keep working on this. And I would not continue on with this if I didn't think that there was hope. And if I don't say that to you at the end of your session, then...
Okay, I have a good question. I have a really juicy question, actually.
Yeah, juicy.
Okay.
Oh, juice. Pour the juice.
Oh, hold on. Okay, I have a juicy question. Let me get the juice so that we. I just kicked myself up. Okay. Okay. So, what is a more common? Which issue is more common in couples? Sex or money?
Ooh. When they are not comfortable with me, it's money. But then when they get comfortable with me, it's sex. But they are
Pretty
they're pretty
equally
even.
balanced.
They're
Yeah.
pretty even. But
Wow.
like when we first start therapy, it's she spends a lot of money and he's hiding all this money and he spent it all and didn't say our savings and blah blah blah. And then when we get into the nitty gritty of it, when they feel like, okay, this is safe space to talk, then we're talking sex.
Mm.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
I wanted
Yeah.
to know because I was like, how
Yeah.
common is each one? Because I've heard both of them are really common, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
I feel
Oh,
like
yeah.
money would probably be more common, but I think that, if it, people are not happy, in the bedroom, that's a really big issue.
Absolutely. Yeah, because that kind of leads into that, right? So the money, and then, well, you never talk to me. Well, you don't spend time with me. Well, we don't, we don't hang out in the bedroom. Like it gets to that place,
Okay.
but it starts off very surface level, and then eventually we get there. Yeah.
I was just
And
gonna say
so,
that I feel like all of those issues are like surface for deeper issues, like there's no feeling of intimacy or there's no connection or there's resentment here or whatever, right?
yeah, exactly. So then, there's a whole lot of homework that has to relate to spending time with each other and getting to know each other again and getting to know each other's bodies. This is a whole thing. Yeah.
So
You do that with them?
Yeah.
So you're also
But then when it comes to like the sex, when it comes to the actual sex part, I'm like, and here's your referral, right? Like I get down to the, and then it's okay.
Go to your sexologist.
There you go. That's where I draw the line. I also
Go do some yoga.
Exactly. Ooh.
So I'm referring them to Shanika.
You're like, what? Yeah, I know a perfect person. Here you go.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Shanika, you should open yoga for a sex
Hey,
therapy
listen.
yoga practice.
That sounds
They
like a
call
great
that
business idea.
Karma Sutra.
This is
Like,
amazing. Oh, she's like, I'm already on it. She's like, I'm already on
that's
it.
actually a good idea.
She's like,
Right.
that was really But you give homework, Debbie, like to the couples and stuff, and like, okay. So do you have any, like, can you give me like an idea of what kind of homework you would give to your couples? I'm just wondering. Like, what would you say? Like, okay, today, like, I mean, your homework for this weekend is to go on a date. Is that like an idea?
Yeah, that's usually, definitely it. But I don't just say go on a date. Like they have to work out how that will work, right? So if they have kids, who's taking care of the kids? Who can they ask? What date? Like we actually have to plan it down into putting it on the calendar. We're going on this day. This is who's watching the kids, or they'll go during the day if they're both at home. We'll go during the day at this time, and this is where we're going. Like we actually have to plan it out, because we could just say go on a date and nobody plans anything, and then they come back the next week and it's like, yeah, we didn't end up doing it because we didn't have it. So we sit down and we actually plan out how this is going to happen.
You literally walk them through it, like take their hand and walk them step by step through it all.
You got it. Yeah. It's I mean, it depends on what the issue is too, right? It's well, what's your homework? Well, you guys are arguing, so let's talk about what, let's fight fair, and let's try that for 10 minutes. If it doesn't work, you go away for 15, come back and try it again. If you guys got to go away, but always come back to it. Always coming back to it. It really just depends on what the issue is. There's a lot of tricks and stuff that I don't do in my house, but I'll preach it to other people.
Right? Because it might work for someone else, I suppose. Do you ever meet with couples that are dating rather than actually married, or is it mainly just married? Like,
no, it's couples, so they're dating too.
Oh, okay. That's interesting that couples that are. I feel like couples that date don't necessarily feel like they need to seek therapy. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's never.
They're not as committed, so
yeah. No, I see people that are dating, that are looking towards marriage, eventually, and then do therapy to figure out if this is the right course for them.
Well, actually, good on them.
Yeah.
Right? For them to get therapy before actually taking that next step.
And I tell them, don't invite me to the wedding because I'm tired of weddings. So Oh, get married, but don't invite me.
Yeah.
We always talk about red flags in relationships. What do you like when you're meeting with couples? Like, what would you consider like
A
big
red
red
flag.
flags?
Oh gosh, I had one couple where there was just a lot of secrets. He was holding a lot of secrets, and she was finding out here and there about all these
Ish.
secrets. And I'm like, girl, I don't know if I have to wave that flag at you, but he's just like, yeah, I was going to tell you about that. I'm like, oh, hold on a minute. Like,
But wait, what kind of secrets? Is it like, for example, is it like, oh, he told me he liked chocolate cake, but actually he doesn't? Is it that kind of secret? Or is it like he has a whole other phone that I didn't know about secret kind of that?
or a whole other wife in another country? Like,
Oh, that's not a red flag. That's like what comes after that's like an
a
explosion.
banner.
That's an atom bomb right there. Atom bomb wiped another country.
That's an SOS call.
Yeah.
And then it comes down to, let's do some individual work with you to figure out why you continue to just
Individual work.
Yeah, remember when we were talking about 90 Day Fiance and Asuelu? There's that one Samoan guy who's cheated 12 times. So
Did you watch 90 Days?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I do. This is my life.
Yeah,
Reality TV is my life.
No, I thought you did, but I wasn't sure. Well,
Yes.
Complete red flag, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I think
again,
right,
not a
but
flag. Not a flag at that point. But yeah, go ahead.
no. And I think it came down to self-esteem for what is her name? Kalani? Yeah.
Alani.
Yeah.
And like how deep she already was in it, like how they had this kid or was pregnant, getting him here, like, and then he continued, but you try to make it work. And I always know, I'm like, I'm not in that situation. I wouldn't be able to, I don't know what, I'm hoping that I would be like, done, but wow, don't know how she was, but I would something in there. Yeah.
In my opinion, all those couples on that show are like,
No, they're doomed. They're doomed.
Acting, I think. I'm serious. I think they're acting. Like, I think, or if they're not actors, like paid actors, and they're actually in these relationships, I feel like maybe the producers are manufacturing certain events or certain kind of driving the story. Yeah.
I mean, come on. How are you going to have a couples retreat with your husband in Nigeria and you got to hold him there on a stick with the
that was absolutely ridiculous.
Come on. Like,
and she's like, oh, I date with him.
There's fighting and they're holding on a stick in the boat and somebody's holding on and everybody gets a chance to hold Michael. Like, no.
What's going on?
Yeah. You know, or the commitment ceremony.
Yeah, the one for me, I don't even think I saw that. Is that the last episode or one of the last episodes? I haven't seen that
one towards the end. Yeah.
But I did see when they're at a couples retreat and then 3 of the men think it's a great idea to go to a strip club while they're in therapy with their wives. Right. To me, that's like, okay, this is clearly manufactured. I don't know anybody who's like, let's work on our marriage and then like let's go out to a strip club at night.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
and let's tell one of the wives but don't tell the girls.
Right? Yeah, like, on camera. Tell the wife on camera and not to tell the other girls.
Listen. Yeah. You could pay me real well to be a therapist on one of those shows. I
think you'd be a much better therapist than the ones that they have on those shows. Some of the ones that they have on those shows are really like the woman who did the regression dream thing where the guy's like, I'm a leprechaun, and I'm just like, I think they should have gotten someone else.
Yeah, I think there is something else we could be talking to Big Ed about.
I feel like this is the best. I mean, okay, I don't know. Yeah, no judgment, but a little bit of judgment.
Exactly. Yeah. So one day I'll do a couples retreat.
Yeah.
That is another great idea. Come on.
It is. We get a yoga person on the couple.
Yes.
Right?
There's a whole team here. There's a whole team here.
We have a whole team. We could totally do a couples retreat.
We can put it together. I think everybody needs a little bit of therapy.
I'll pitch it to TLC. Yeah.
What can I do? I'll just talk. I have no idea. But yeah.
But you see how this is just like I always just say, you know what, like the talking does wonders. If you know, we could talk about meditation, we could talk about exercise, we could talk about you know, taking medication, but the just act of just talking and recognizing that, whoa, you have that issue too, you do that too, right? I think it makes us feel like we are normal.
Yeah.
I heard that
Yeah,
that connecting with others is far more important than exercise. It's far more important than anything else, really. Diet. If you don't have connections with others, it's detrimental to your health.
That makes sense to me because my favorite, again, I think we've had this talk, and I said like the way that I work out, I have to do it in a community setting. Like that's the only way I stay motivated, and it's the only like I like doing it because I'm in community. I'm not the type of person who can work out alone.
Yeah.
That's not me. So I like that. For me, the connection is everything, and my life reflects that. I do a lot of stuff in community with other people. I love being in community. Yeah.
And once we know that it's safe to do that, 100%.
That's why group fitness is so popular.
Yes.
Especially like amongst older, I don't want to say like younger people don't do group fitness, but like that's why you see a lot of older people doing group fitness, like going to like the 12 o'clock lunch, and it's all the same ladies every day, you know?
Yep.
It makes sense too, because after you like finish university and high school and you know, it's harder to make friends like as you get older. So when you have those like little groups where you find people with things in common, and especially if you keep going to the same time, then you naturally will form like connections with people in different settings. Like for me, I'm involved in my church, so that's one of the settings that I connect with people in. And then I have my kickboxing, that's another setting I connect with people in. And then I have whatever, you know, other activities that people do, like yoga, you do yoga, and you do yoga too, like those kind of things, or you're naturally going to build connections with people there.
Like-minded, you're into the same stuff. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So
it's wonderful. Just having friends too, right? Like maybe just connecting, period.
I think and that's what we got to do, especially going into January and these winter months. I know it's hard. I know I go into hibernation, but try and stay connected, because that's how you're going to make it through this Canadian winters.
You know, if we had the sun in the winter, like I don't like winter, but if we had sun in the winter, it wouldn't be half as bad.
Yes. Yeah.
But because we don't see the sun for like 6 months.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Are people that are in warmer climates happier? Like, you know, if you compare people in Toronto compared to like people in Florida, are they happier in Florida? Are they happier people?
I think that their sadness isn't what we get sad about, right? I think that we're still parts of the, you know, people are still struggling, but when it comes to that vitamin D that you get being in the sun, and really it's not so much as how long do you stay sad, right? Because you can get sad, that's just a natural part of life, but how long do you sit in that sadness and that depression, right? If you have the sun, you're like, I'm just going to go out and get some sun, and it immediately does something for you. And whereas people in Florida can do that right away, here, you know, we need the lamps.
But I will say one advantage. Oh no, sorry. Go ahead, Sean.
No, I was just gonna say I have an alarm clock that you can preset to like someone walking in the woods or like seagulls, and what it does.
Wait a second.
Someone walking in the woods sounds creepy enough, Sean. Imagine you're like in the middle of the night.
You know, like ASMR when you hear like.
Oh yeah.
Right. Or like the crackling of the fire, like that kind of stuff. Anyhow, so what it does is it comes on like gradually, and it's like the sound will come on, but then there's a light on it and it'll come on gradually and get brighter and brighter and brighter until you wake up to mimic the
nice.
sun.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I would love to see your husband the first day he hears that noise thing.
I showed him that.
He
He's
didn't know
like,
what it
"You
was.
need all of
There's
that to
someone
get up."
walking in the woods in the morning, slowly making it louder and louder.
Wait, that's the alarm that it just starts off. Like, how long does it go for? I'm just confused. Hold on. How long does it
It
go
goes
for?
until you take it off.
No, but
So eventually it wakes you up. Like if you're in the
Yeah.
right room, you're like, whoa, wait a second. Eventually it wakes you up.
Because
You know
it's
how
like
your alarm will keep
a
going.
dim light, then it gets a little brighter, and the noise gets louder.
it's interesting. Okay, you have to show me that app or whatever.
No, it's an
Yeah.
actual alarm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm super sensitive to alarms, but my husband, nothing will wake that man up. But anyway, I was gonna say that the one advantage that we have, I think, to not having so much sun is that our skin doesn't age as
Yeah.
fast. So
For
that's
sure.
the one advantage. Because if you see people who are out in the sun, they look much older, much faster than we do.
Mhm.
But yeah, go ahead,
I'm
Sean.
going to disagree with that
Why do you say that?
because sun is very good for you in the right doses.
Ages you.
It won't age you. What ages you is your diet when you're in the sun.
I don't know.
Yeah,
But
your
if you look
diet
at people
affects how
from the
sun
South,
reacts.
like if you look at Southern people who live in the South, they look like 40 when they're in their 20s. They look
It's
really
a healthy
wrinkling
dose
up.
of sun.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Maybe they're not getting healthy doses of sun.
Yes.
Maybe they're out there basking. I don't know.
The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, they got it.
Yeah, they look different. Like the Housewives of OC.
But they've had
Yeah.
a lot of stuff done. I'm talking about like the average.
Yeah.
No, but their skin. Okay, I'm not even getting into that. There's so much I can
Yeah,
say.
I don't know.
You can go
Like,
into
my
Real
TV shows their
Housewives.
skin very clear, and it's like, oh, it's like it just doesn't look right. You know what I mean? But I don't know.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah. So
Anyways,
this
thank
is
you,
good.
Debbie, so much for coming on here and sharing so much wisdom.
It's good. You guys were
Yeah.
fun. Thank you.
You have to drop your Instagram handle, your YouTube, whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Put it like, let us know what is it like. Tell the viewers.
Oh, okay. You can find me at Debbie Opoku 1 on Instagram, and that is also what it is on, I guess, X, and sometimes I pop up on Facebook under Debbie Opoku Mulder. Yeah, all of that fun stuff. I'm on there. I'm creeping you out.
Is that it?
Yeah. That is it. Yes.
Amazing.
There you go. Yeah.
You said X. I was like, what's that? And I forgot. That's
Oh,
the new Twitter.
I know. I was thinking
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, you're so welcome.
I think that we all need self-care and coping mechanisms to kind of get us through the winter. And
Yeah. And we can do it, and you're not alone. You're not alone.
There you go.
We're all dealing with it. So talk it out. Yeah.
Thank you so much for the reminder and for spending time with us. And this was an awesome conversation.
Yeah.
So, well, we're gonna wrap it up, and we hope that everybody has a great week and stay healthy this season, guys.
Take care of yourselves.
Yeah, take care of yourselves. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.